I'm Enrique Gonzalez Mueller, and welcome to Are You Listening? The last episode. In this episode, we will finish our mix, but we will take a step back. Are we honoring those initial emotional objectives? Take a deeper look at automation, creativity, and get ready for mastering. Remember to check show notes for tools, episodes, and resources, and I'll see you on the other side. Pop quiz. You start to mix. Hour 1, hour 2, hour 3 goes by. What's the first thing you lose? Your objectivity. Everything is in there, but now we're going to take a step back. And we need to remember who we are mixing this for. Typically, it's not for engineers, it's not for producers, it's for our artists that need to be well represented. Maybe more so, it's for their intended audience who doesn't know a thing about this plugin or this automation or this nothing. What we're going to do now is take a listen and take a step back. We will forget of all the arduous, hard, awesome work that we've done, hopefully, and we will try to embody the experience that our intended audience is going to have. So I encourage you guys to do this experiment. We have been doing very, very acute critical listening, sitting in the sweet spot, meditating to know that 1.2 dB difference at 1K, there. Now, like I said, we need to take a step back and listen unencumbered with any of those thoughts. I am going to literally get out of the sweet spot, which I invite you to do. That's the exercise. We're going to get out of the sweet spot. We're going to go back there somewhere. Try to be in a place in the room where you don't have maybe a lot of low-end buildup. Try to find a place that is neutral. And as you do, go find a trusty piece of technology where you can go and take notes, like my phone, for example. And there, hit play and write, capture your thoughts. I am going to look for not so much the engineering details, but rather the emotional details. When the sections change from one to the other, are you getting that impact that you want? Is it doing the emotional peaks and valleys that you are trying to work so hard to attain? So we will start at chorus 1. Why? Because I want to capture interlude, verse 2, pre-chorus 2, chorus 2, and solo. These are all of the unique sections of the song. At home, of course, for your mixes, you have to do the whole thing. For this show that we got going on, we will take this excerpt and take it from there. Here we go.
Give me witness protection for me and my friends, 'cause I never, ever wanna see you again. I got my Japanese dry snacks, Lucy and my wolf pack, a folder of new tracks. And like the bird on your elbow, I'm flexing my free flow, Tika de libido. Don't try to wait for me outside of my show. Just say hello, it's time to swallow your kombucha and cry. Yeah, why you always gotta rain on me and my vibe. And let me slip into my meditation. Life with no parole and no visitation.
The good news is all of the pieces are there, but I do find that we could do a lot of work with transitions, and also there are just some pieces that I think after you finish drums we did, I don't know, back in the 70s or something. I've lost track a little bit of just the overall bigger picture. So there are some kind of dynamic shifts that we're going to need to do, and also some creative things to make sections flow a little bit better into each other. I hope this exercise made sense for you. Do this at home, and now let's proceed to getting this mix really snapping together.
Witness protection for me and my friends, 'cause I never, ever, ever wanna see you again.
All right. We've listened hypothetically to the whole song and we've made notes. I'm thinking that those interludes are perfectly fine, but the verses, I'm writing here, hi-hat and shaker up, bass up a little. So, hi-hat and shaker up, let's start there. Let's go and listen to the verse. And as I was saying before, emotionally, what's happening? What am I not getting from this? Check it out.
I got my Japanese dry snacks, Lucy and my wolf pack, a folder of new tracks.
The thing that I'm not getting is the groove. It's not groovy enough and it's not quirky enough. The hi-hat is going and the shaker is going. There's a lot of energy and kind of nervous energy that comes from these. If we grab the hi-hat, I made myself a note here that I'm turning it 2.5 up because I already obviously tried this stuff before. 2 dB there, and then for the shaker, I'm bringing this up by about 5. I'm going to play this back with these two changes. Forget about the button pushes. How does it feel? So the whole thing that I want from this verse is for it to be kind of nervous and groovy. So I will do this, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bars in, I'm going to undo my moves so that you can hear how it feels before the change. So here it is in the after.
I got my Japanese dry snacks, Lucy and my wolf pack, a folder of new tracks. And like the bird on your elbow, I'm flexing my free flow, Tika de libido. Don't.
Not as groovy. Let's do it the other way around. I'm going to play the before first, and 4 bars in, I'm going to redo so you can hear what it does to the track.
I got my Japanese dry snacks, Lucy and my wolf pack, a folder of new tracks. And like the bird on your elbow, I'm flexing my free flow, Tika de libido. Don't try.
Love it. Now it feels exactly like I want to. And see how I just have a list, and I'm not being very precious about this. I was very emotional back there, just going, that doesn't quite feel right. Why? Who's responsible for groove and quirk? Hi-hat, shaker. Write that stuff down. Now, I'm just checking the boxes. Oh, snap. Bass up a little. Here we go. Bass up 0.5 dB. I'm going to do a select all on this group, and I will grab this and... there we go.
I got my Japanese dry snacks, Lucy and my wolf pack, a folder of new tracks. And like the bird on your elbow, I'm flexing my free flow, Tika de libido. Don't try.
All of the articulation of the where a lot of character comes from in the verses, I can now hear it. It comes to me. I don't have to squint to hear it. Now, pre-chorus. What do we got? Guitar trem up and main guitars up a little bit. So if we go to the pre-chorus, this is the guitar trem right here, which sounds like that. Okay, this is a section delineator, right? It's the one thing that really changes when the section comes in. Check it out.
Don't try to follow me in my.
It gets lost a little bit. So I'm going to grab that and we're going to bring that up by a dB 0.5. So let's see if this just announces the entrance of a different section a little clearer.
Waves back with you to Fort Wayne. Don't try to follow me in my Honda on 101.
way better. I don't have to squint to hear it. Now, what was the other thing? Main guitars up a bit. All right, so we have these guys, right? Yeah, I think we just need to rock a little harder. So this is the before. It's okay, but I want them to be almost wrong loud. I want them to really be a wake up. So check it out. Yeah, it's a good slap in the face in a good way. Now, what do we got for the choruses? Guitar lead up and drums up a hair. This is the guitar lead here. So the reason for this guitar lead happening is very important. It's just that it feels a little muffled. So I have the synth sound doing this. I have that other synth doing the reverb, if you remember. But this little guy here is really the track that gives that some top end. And I need that clarity. I'm going to bring this all up by 5 dB, which is a lot. But it's not a lot because the number doesn't matter. It just needs to feel good. I will play you the after and then the before.
Rain on me and my vibe.
And this is the before.
Rain on me and my vibe.
Definitely a good move. It's a little loud, but it needs to be salient. So we're good. And then what else do we have here? The main guitar's up a bit, guitar lead up, drums up a hair. This is interesting because we've had these two drum kits, right? Very carefully set so that the verses are the verses. And then because we have the separate control of the chorus sounds, we made them louder. It's just that at the end of the day, nobody cares about where it is. It just doesn't rock as hard. And I would just want this to hit a little harder. So I'm going to do this with two moves. We have our drum parallel aux track, which has all of the kick and snare samples. And I want to boost that so that we just get a little bit more attack on those kicks and snares. And then this drum reel aux track, this is basically the rest of the overhead so that brightness could come up. So I will do this drum reel, bring it up by about a dB and change. And then I have here on the heavies, make them 24. So the heavies happen. I'm just going to boost that bit right there. Let's include that hit as well. And boost here until the very end. Perfection. The point here is, can you hear the definition of the kick and snare or not? Both an emotional thing and also a technical, the articulation of the kick and snare.
Rain on me and my vibe. And then you slip into my meditation. Give me witness.
Yes. If you saw my face, you got that. And that's the look of heavy that I want. This is the before.
Yeah, why you always gotta rain on me and my vibe. And then you slip into my meditation. Give me witness, protect.
Perfect. You saw that quickly I redid so that we could listen to the second half with the changes. And I really like that click of the beater of the kick drum is totally there. So of course I would take my time and export, copy, paste this to the different choruses, but let's move forward. We only have the solo to deal with and we got the claps, right? It's a departure for the entire track. There's a lot of space. There's the guitar solo, obviously, but halfway through, we have those claps. They're important. Can we hear them? They're really getting lost in the shuffle. I am going to bring these up. Here I say 5 dB. Let's see if that's enough. There they are. So here's the before. And there they are. Cool. And then I have here, the very last thing is the acoustic guitars that need to come up. Okay, 2 acoustic guitars in this section. So as a strategy to bring them up, instead of me bringing them up, I see that they are panned to the center pretty much, right? One is 19 and the other one is 19, and the solo is also happening in the center. Instead of bringing them up, what I'm going to do is pan them out of the way of the solo. Should it be left or right? Let's check this out. So we have that guitar that comes in towards the end on the left. So what I'm going to do is pan these on the right so we can have that counterpoint. I'm going to take my pan left. Let's bring it in to 0 there. That's just enough. Let's hear how it sounded before and then after. I'm going to play it right from the get-go. Done. Whew. This is sounding way better. And it's these little tweaks that, after we lose our objectivity, really finish getting everything right into place. Are we done? No. Because we're artists, so we need to get creative now. And now, creative automation! We have put everything in place, but now let's try to squeeze out a little bit more creativity and expressiveness from our mix. I've made me a list, and we're gonna dive right in. Vocal, high octave 1, delays throw at end. We have these vocals here.
Covered my bedroom in white sage to send all your bad ways back with you to Fort Wayne. Don't
Back with you to Fort Wayne, pregnant pause, pre-chorus.
it's back with you to Fort Wayne. Don't try.
So I think as a transition, it would be great if we do a little delay throw. And I'm just gonna go on the word.
It's back with you to Fort Wayne.
So Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne.
There, I think we could give that a good, healthy boost.
Send all your bad ways back with you to Fort Wayne. Don't try.
I think it can get more exaggerated than that. Here.
Send all your bad ways back with you to Fort Wayne. Don't try.
That is lovely. And if we go to the next one, we can do the same so that we can keep the theme going. So here we have.
My free flow Chica de libido.
So just on libido, crank this up a whole mess of a lot.
Flexing my free flow Chica de libido. Don't try.
And I love that little ghosty thing where you go, what? And then boom, the pre-chorus hits you. Next, we have the lead vocal, who? That delay throw should happen right here at the interlude.
'Cause I never, ever, ever wanna see you again.
I'm going to set up a brand new, because we don't have this already, delay quarter note. Great. And then I will go and automate that. So right now is at 0. Let's bring that little who, which is this guy. I'm going to bring that up. Make it a little subliminal, but let's see how this feels.
Never, ever, ever wanna see you again. I got my Japanese.
Maybe a little bit more, but I like that it just kind of connects to verse 2.
Never, ever, ever wanna see you again. I got my Japanese drop.
Lovely. Elegant, dare I say. Guitar trem, boost, delay, trail. All right. So here is our guitar trem part.
Try.
Towards the end, though, it has this little lingering sound that I really like. It's barely audible, but I think if we come here and just max this out and have that little tail end just pop up a little bit more. It's kind of a headphone thing, but check it out. That little ghosty there. And it helps the part become kind of poofy with reverb, and then it dries out for the vocal, and then the chorus hits you in the face. Next, all aux effects. Level duck for stutter effect on chorus 3. So if we go to chorus 3, we have this moment here. So that good, I want it to feel more like a stutter effect. So how about we grab all of these auxes? These here are all the main auxes, which I have for every single instrument, funneling together all of the bass, all of the guitars, all of the drums. I made a group of them. So if we have, let's go and create ducking here. Good, and here, if we do, that's pretty dramatic. If we repeat, let's check this out. I'm liking that. But that last one, maybe we can have it swell in. See, creativity makes people happy. Auto pan on chorus 3. Okay, so the preceding part of chorus 3 is kind of a psychedelic, vibey thing that happened right after the solo, right here. So how about we grab this tambourine and maybe auto pan it? That I think will give us kind of a swirly, whoa, dude, aspect to this. And let's just try to envision this. So I got the frequency. We basically want to make this something like that. Lovely. Duplicate. There we go. It's making me a little nauseous, but that's the point. And then we have this sci-fi effect. We can go and maybe do the opposite for this. Our tambourine starts left, so maybe this one could start right. So we're going to do that. There we have it. And then, because this is a stereo track, we have to do the same exact thing on the other end. So I'm going to grab that, duplicate, and perfect. Whoa! So satiating. Is there anything else? Good old reverse swell on the vibes. So here we have this big punctuation that I kind of feel bad because it's so cool, right? But it hits right where everything hits, so there's not a lot of room for it, but I think it could help us create a swell. And that swell can just announce the entrance of the chorus. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a duplicate playlist, and I'm going to call it comp swell, and I'm going to paste that same thing. But how about if we reverse? Where are you? Whoopsh. And there it is. I think it could be more salient. Let's just go and audition this before that first chorus.
Yeah, why you always gotta rain on me and my vibe?
Ah, check this out. I'm loving this.
Yeah, why you always gotta rain on me and my vibe? Yeah, why you always gotta rain on me and my vibe?
So creepy and awesome. Whew. Of course, I'm gonna grab this little swell and copy paste it all over the place because it's too good just to have in one little spot. And I will make sure that all of our moves are happening all across the mix. But guys, this bit of creative automation is really infusing this piece of art, dare I say, with some life. As part of your note taking, make sure that you not only cover the technical and aesthetic big pieces, but grab these little opportunities to really infuse your mix with that little extra, as they say. And after all of that, our master mix is done. We still have a few steps though. Before we proceed, I think we should reminisce on all that we have achieved. So I have set up this session here where I have imported our master mix, but I also imported the very first rough mix, which is what we got from the artist, right? What I'd like to do is loop just a little snippet, each section going from the before to the after to see how we're doing. Here is the original, and you will see me toggle to our master when it loops around.
Took your name off my guitar strap and threw out your non-fat. Got back on my Prozac. Covered my bedroom in white sage to send all your bad waves back with you to Fort Wayne. Don't took your name off my guitar strap and threw out your non-fat. Got back on my Prozac. Covered my bedroom in white sage to send all your bad waves back with you to Fort Wayne.
Sounding pretty good. Let's do half of the pre-chorus and see how that feels.
Try to follow me in my Honda on the 101. Let's try to follow me in my Honda on the 101. It's
Pretty inspiring. How about the second half of the chorus?
tripping up my good vibration. Yeah, get me wet. Tripping up my good vibration. Yeah, get me wet.
Pretty good. Final little gesture, the solo. Pretty good. Now that we've done that and we got a little bit of a chance to hear our work, which I'm loving, can you see the smile? Let's now just take a deep breath and go listen to this master mix top to bottom. We let go of everything, forget about all the squillion button pushes and mixing decisions we have done, and here we just try to take it in as music.
Suck a guitar. Took your name off my guitar strap and threw out your non-fat. Got back on my Prozac. Covered my bedroom in white sage to send all your bad waves back with you to Fort Wayne. Don't try to follow me in my Honda on the 101. It's time to swallow your kombucha and cry. Yeah, why you always gotta rain on me and my vibe, and let me slip into my meditation. Yeah, give me witness protection for me and my friends, 'cause I never ever ever wanna see you again. I got my Japanese dry snake on me and my vibe. And let me slip into my meditation. Life with no parole and no visitation. For me and my friends, cause I never ever ever wanna see you again.
Whew! That sounds like music to me. So how do we know we're done with a mix? For me, when I hit play, the whole thing goes by and every bit of emotional reaction that I want to have section to section is met. Of course, another way to know you're done with a mix is when the deadline is there. But in a better scenario, that is how I know I'm done. And I'm loving how this speaks. I feel it honors what the song wants to do. It honors the artist. It amplifies everything that they wanted to do. It's creative. I got a chance to express myself. I'm loving this. Are we done though? A few more things for you. So we have this mix, which is the file that I would probably be sending to mastering, right? And we have plenty of headroom, so my mastering engineer is probably going to love me because they have plenty of room to work with. But if I give this to my artist and they put it on a playlist, it's probably going to be 8 to 10 dB quieter than anything that is on their playlist because this hasn't been mastered. So the thing that I like to do is give this a little bit of quote unquote fake mastering. Let's go do those steps. And what I'm trying to get to here is one, yes, give my artist something that is a little bit more level competitive, but also take this opportunity to try to get a glimpse at what mastering is going to do. I have in my master fader set up an instance of total balance control, right? With my reference mix here, Mentiras for los Amigos Invisibles. If I then take a quick peek at, say, the heaviest part of the song, which is the chorus, right? Especially the heavy part. Let's just do that. That's when really the whole track is full frequency. Let's see how we're doing here. We're doing pretty good. When it gets heavy is really when we have full frequency extension, right? And this, I'm really happy. We have a little bit more energy around 800 hertz or so. That's totally fine. We're definitely in the ballpark, so I'm happy about that. Now, to do this little kind of fake mastering thing, I open up an instance of Ozone. And here, yes, I've done a little bit of prep work to get this going, but I have the following steps. And here, guys, I'm going to go quite minimalistic. I'm not a mastering engineer. I don't pretend to be a mastering engineer. I leave that awesome voodoo to them that do that stuff that they do. But in trying to satiate that, what will mastering do? I'm deploying one instance of EQ and one instance of maximizer. The EQ, of course, is first I don't want things to distort. So I'm having my maximizer at the very tail end as a brick wall limiter, of course. I have here in my reference the same track I was looking at Total Balance Control, which is Mentiras by Los Amigos Invisibles. And you see here that I level matched it to the level that we have in our unmastered track, right? So that I can first off do EQ. So I'm going to take this off. We're going to go to our EQ module. I'm going to turn this off. And then in my reference, what I like to do is listen to my reference, right? And listen to extension of the low end, presence of the low end, extension of the top end, and then what's in the middle. So I try to just look at those three broad slivers of the frequency spectrum in my reference. And once I have that flavor, then I immediately go listen to mine and see what are the discrepancies. So let's go do that. Of course, because we don't want to get dinged for not licensing this mastering, I will listen to the reference mix and you will imagine this on your side. But this is the motion that you should do. Got it. So this again, when you do this at home, listen for those three big items, right? The lows, the mids, and the highs. And then I'm deploying an EQ. This is what I found would make my mix closer to my reference. If you see here, I have a bump at around 44 hertz. I'm adding not even a dB of gain. So you see here that there's a bunch of filters and they're not necessarily in order. This was me trying to prioritize, right, the fixes that I needed to do. So my biggest fix was I didn't have enough low end. My second fix was I had a little bit of this nasal bump that I did not like. So at about 1675 hertz, I took down half a dB. That made it better. Then I lost a little bit of presence, which I added back at 1.2K. And you see the frequencies that I'm going. I'm not going to go and explain all of them to you, but basically, this is the gist of the idea. I am trying to make things equal in presence and shine and weight to my reference, but you see that all of my moves are under 1 dB. This to me is a good sign. If this instead would have been, oh, I have no low end, and I start cranking it and cranking it and cranking it, and I go, oh, cool, that's good at plus 3.5 dB, that would be too much for me. That would have me go back into my original mix and do a little bit of tweaking there because the mix is not ready. If I would have given that to the mastering engineer, they would have to do a lot of fixing. No, I want you to master, not fix my mix. If we listen to a bit of the before and after, let's listen to the whole chorus. I am going to play the entire chorus without the EQ, and then I'm going to turn it on so that you can hear the difference. That sounds pretty great to me. It's just a little bit of added warmth and sheen, and the middle is a little bit more defined. It's subtle, but we're in a great spot, guys. Then we move on to the maximizer. You see here that I'm adding about 11 dB of gain, which is quite a bit. Now I would go to my reference and bring this to 0. But actually, and this is just me, I don't like to bring it to 0. I bring it down to maybe about 1 dB, sometimes even 2. And I do that so that I don't just go crazy trying to make things as loud as who knows what. So I like to err on being conservative, and minus 1 dB from something that is a great reference mix, we're totally fine. So once I have that, then I go to my maximizer and I try to make them about equal. You should play with this we have access to mode, IRC 1, 2, 3. Is it clipping? Is it modern? Please toggle these until you find the one that makes your master mix shine the most. I am also deploying a little bit of soft clipping and a little bit of transient emphasis, but you're seeing that I'm not going crazy with the stuff. It's just a little bit to make it pop just a little bit more. So if I do this and then I pop this in, it's going to get tremendously louder. So be careful at home. We're going to do this just so we can hear what it's doing, but anticipate that it's going to get a little bit louder. Mind your ears, and we will listen to that same chorus. Once it pops back in to the loop, I will put the maximizer on. Here we go. Pretty good. I'm noticing that this maximizer is making the low end shift a little bit, so I might just go back and maybe ease up on this guy right here. Actually, I'm just going to do this right away. Just bring it down by a few tenths of a dB to make things a little less cluttered. But this is feeling pretty awesome. So this now is at a level, and it has enough shine and low end that we did just minimally to make it be very competitive. Like I said, it's also giving me an idea of what mastering will do. Now that we're done, if you have the energy for it, say yes. Let's go listen to this thing in its full-on fake mastered glory and see where we're standing. So here's our goodbye listen to Kombucha by Winnetka Bowling League.
Fucking suck at guitar. Took your name off my guitar strap and threw out your non-fat. Got back on my Prozac. Covered my bedroom in white sage to send all your bad ways back with you to Fort Wayne. Don't try to follow me in my heart. It's time to swallow your kombucha and cry. Yeah, why you always gotta rain on me and my vibe, and let me slip into my meditation. Give me witness protection for me and my friends, cause I never ever wanna see you again. I got my Japanese dry snacks, Lucy and my wolf pack, a folder of new tracks. And like the bird on your elbow, I'm flexing my free flow, Tika de libido. Don't try to wait for me outside of my show. Zero, it's time to swallow your kombucha and cry. Yeah, why you always gotta rain on me and my vibe, and let me slip into my meditation. Life with no parole and no visitation. wanna see you again.
Woo! I think we all deserve a good pat in the back. Guys, I'm feeling awesome about this, and I'm just going to take a selfish moment to thank you all for joining me in this arduous, awesome, weird, amazing adventure as we mixed this from nothing to this. So, thanks again. Please grab every single concept that we explored together and try them in your own work. Go have a blast, make awesome art, and I hope to see you soon.